Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. So today I would like to highlight one of the more exciting teams' work recently added to the roadmap. As always, huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members. Thank you guys so much for the support. If you would like to support the channel even further from as little as $1 a month, it is all very much appreciated. All the links are in the description below. So one of the new teams to find their way onto the roadmap over this last couple of weeks was the EU Persistent Universe Gameplay Features team. Now, similar to that of the US PU Gameplay Features team, many of the deliverables they're working on are equally exciting. So today I would like to run through these features, showing you what the EU Persistent Universe Gameplay Features team are working on. Kicking off with environmental gameplay. Now this involves 19 weeks work from engineering and design, which will begin in August and lasts all the way through till the end of December. And it says new activities that are focused on gameplay in the environment, expanding interactions with objects placed around locations and new dangers in the environment, both natural and human-made. Now unfortunately it doesn't actually specify what these are, but we do know that CIG want to create more than enough gameplay for players to remain occupied on a single planet for a long time without feeling the need to constantly quantum travel around. And with it mentioning environmental dangers being both natural and human, it could relate to a small population of pirates, natural hazards, but I do wonder what else, maybe creatures perhaps. I would love to know what your thoughts are on potential natural or human-made hazards, so do let me know. The next two features are a bit of a double whammy. We have loot generation tier 0 and tier 1. Now for the tier 0 feature, it says implementing the systems that generate containers throughout the PU, so crates, lockers and boxes and so on, that contain dynamically populated randomized loot. Now the work for this began in early March and finishes mid-May, so it'll be soon finished. I do wonder if we will be seeing loot popping up in Alpha 3.14 for us to take. That would be very nice, especially with the personal inventory system. It is possible, of course, that it's just the back-end tech to allow for loot to spawn, as tier 1 loot generation specifies that this system deals with the generation of lootable containers throughout the world, their contents and how they can be accessed or broken into, and work on the tier 1 loot generation lasts 17 weeks, beginning just as the tier 0 work finishes in mid-May, all the way up until early September. But I feel that having loot spawning and with the ability to sell it coming towards the end of the year, it'll be a huge game changer. Something that all MMOs need is the ability to loot items from enemies or locations and then keep, sell or share the contents. This system could also act as a great alternative way to reward the player with something other than credits, like a weapon or a special weapon or armor piece. What we get with tier 0 or tier 1, I don't know, but I'm very much looking forward to both. Now next on my list is ship-to-ship refueling. Now what's important with refueling is its necessity to be implemented before we get the Pyro system, as Pyro is a far more desolate location where the option to obtain fuel is heavily reduced than that in Stanton. The work on this feature lasts 27 weeks and has already begun, with an intention to complete the work by the end of August. Now this feature states implementing the systems that will allow players flying specific ships, so basically the Starfarer, to refuel other ships and get paid for it. The player can fill those specific ship fuel tanks from a station using an updated rearm, restock and refuel interface at landing zones and at space stations. Now this is a great feature to finally make its way into the verse. The Starfarer was pretty much the first big ship that we got in the PU, and for all the owners of it, finally they will be able to use it for what it's intended for. I will be working on a video talking specifically about CIG's intentions for the initial implementation of the refueling mechanic, as we have recently heard more about where they want to go with this and how the process will work, so do subscribe for that if that is of interest to you. The next feature is a pretty big one. It is called resource management. Now it has a pretty big duration time of work as well, 47 weeks in fact, which started at the beginning of this year and won't be complete until the end of November. Now this states the system will handle resources for stations, settlements, cities and all other locations. It will also unlock engineering station gameplay for ships, letting players manage power, CPU, fuel, shields, coolant, and more. Now this is pretty much the beginning of engineering. This is this resource generation and item control system that they spoke about a short while back, which replaced the piping system. It is basically how all the items, all the components needed to power a ship or a homestead or a space station, pretty much everything, will communicate to one another and provide the requirements each one needs to fully function. Now this is one of the biggest remaining systems that will really help to change how we interact with our ships and how we can customize them with systemic variation. Next up is a feature that I have previously spoken about called long distance probing. This specifically refers to exploration and how players will fire out a probe at quantum speed and then receive signals back, allowing them to quantum travel to it for further investigation. Now, to learn more about this feature, I have linked a dedicated video on this in the description below. Although work on this doesn't begin until mid-August, lasting all the way towards the latter half of December, so we won't be seeing it for a while yet, but it is still a very exciting feature that is basically the beginning of exploration. So for the final feature that I'd like to mention, it is mining gadgets. Now we have heard briefly about these devices that can be physically placed on a mineable to modify the rock's stat, making it either easier, safer, quicker or riskier to mine. And this will again further enhance and expand the mining mechanic and profession, offering a bit more granularity to the process. And even if mining isn't your thing, it is safe to say that all of the work and effort being put into mining will be the same amount of work and effort that they place on all of the mechanics and professions in the game. So the further this gets, the further the rest of the professions will as well. So that is it for the EU Persistent Universe gameplay features team roadmap breakdown. One of my favorite teams for feeling that hype of what's getting worked on this year. But with that said, if you do enjoy my videos, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you would like to talk more about Star Citizen and the project, or just hang out and watch me now play 313 on the live servers, you are all more than welcome over on my Twitch channel. It is twitch.tv/supermacbrothers. If you could do the channel a big favor and hit that thumbs up, I would appreciate it. And if you want to be notified when my videos go live, just tick that little notification bell. Again, these videos are made possible thanks to my patrons and channel members. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.